Here are the facts on brown fat and weight loss. Adding more brown fat or activating the brown fat you already have could help with weight loss, since brown fat doesn't store energy or calories, but rather burns them off. They're kind of like fat cells that exercise all day long. Compared to lazy white fat, brown fat has smaller fat droplets, leaving more room for more mitochondria, which give it its darker brown color. Inside those mitochondria are uncoupling protein 1, which causes the aerobic system to release the energy from glucose and fatty acids as heat, rather than store those calories as fat. The process of releasing heat from brown fat is called non-shivering thermogenesis, or non-shivering heat production. This is a different source of heat than what you get from shivering in the cold. In other words, white fat is the energy storing form of fat, while brown fat is the energy wasting form of fat. Brown fat exists to create heat to keep body temperature up when times get cold, like when animals are hibernating. However, animals have a lot more brown fat than humans, maybe because humans can knit warm sweaters while animals can't. Seriously, humans are born with about 2 to 5% of their fat as brown fat, which decreases to about 0.5% into adulthood. So for a 75 kilogram or 165 pound adult person, that would be about 250 grams or half a pound of brown fat. The little brown fat you have is located on the back of the neck, upper back, armpit, and dispersed around the lungs, heart, adrenal glands, and lower spine. These locations are thought to warm nerves and blood flow in critical areas to prevent heart arrhythmias and nerve failure in times of hypothermia. Some of the brown fat in humans is actually beige fat, or white fat that has gained mitochondria and uncoupling protein 1, making them a little browner. However, beige fat is its own unique type of fat, with a fat burning capacity of only 10% of brown fat. So the questions are, what can you do to activate more of the little brown fat you already have and to convert more of the white fat to beige to burn more calories and help you lose weight? One option is to eat. Eating a meal causes your gut to release secretin into the bloodstream, which then travels to the brown fat and activates it. This may be your body's way to reduce the caloric impact of eating a single large meal. In other words, if you're watching your calories and give in and eat a single high caloric meal, instead of all those extra calories being stored as white fat, some will be burned away by your brown fat. But if you regularly eat high caloric meals, that's going to be too many calories for the brown fat to burn off. So most of those calories will be stored as white fat. Besides, it doesn't make much sense to eat a single large meal just to temporarily activate brown fat, only to burn off the calories you just ate. So the next option is to get cold. Studies show that weeks of exposure to cold air of 10 to 19 degrees Celsius for 2 to 6 hours per day activates brown fat and increases brown fat and maybe beige fat. This happens through an increase in sympathetic nerve stimulation and the release of hormones that activate molecular pathways responsible for the browning of white fat and the activation of brown fat. Exposure to water at 20 degrees Celsius or less also increases and activates brown and beige fat. However, as the body acclimates to weeks of cold exposure, its impact on brown and beige fat seems to diminish. Plus, cold exposure, especially cold water, increases the workload of the heart and alters the blood flow to and from the heart, which can cause some serious, even deadly cardiac problems. But as for cold exposure and weight loss, the bottom line is that activating more brown fat and adding more beige fat may only burn an additional 20 to 250 calories per day. So even if your brown fat was activated for the entire day, its impact on your resting metabolic rate probably wouldn't be enough to help with weight loss. However, due to brown fat's ability to burn off glucose, there may be other health benefits like better glucose regulation and insulin sensitivity that come with cold exposure. Lastly, exercise also increases sympathetic nerve stimulation and releases hormones that leads to the browning of white fat and the activation of brown fat. For example, the hormone irisin is released from exercising muscles into the bloodstream, where it will eventually reach white fat, helping to turn it beige. Even lactate may play a role, which may be why the changes that come to beige and brown fat from exercise are more pronounced with high-intensity interval training and with hypoxia or low oxygen training. Another way to help exercise convert more white fat to beige and or activate more brown fat may be to exercise during or followed by a cold exposure, as found in some studies on mice. However, the impact that exercise has on beige and brown fat is highly variable in humans, and its full effects are not yet known and require more research, but you can do your own by swimming to Iceland. So for now, it looks like the ability of cold exposure and exercise to activate or increase brown fat or beige fat are minimal at best, and likely not much help with weight loss. However, it's a good thing that there are many other benefits that come from exercise, and even a few from cold exposure, that make regular exercise and proper cold treatments worthwhile. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments and questions below. And please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, my answers come from peer-reviewed research.